Hi, I'm Katherine Applegate, and I am so thrilled and delighted to be here with Mr. Shu today, even if it is just virtually. John and I go way back to a book called The One and Only Ivan. Some of you may have read it. It's about a gorilla. It's based on a true story about this guy named Ivan, a gorilla who ended up living in a mall in Tacoma, Washington for almost 27 years before he was finally released and got to go live with other gorillas again. It was a story that John seemed to like. In fact, he shared it with tens of thousands of students. And he even went to visit the real Ivan at Zoo Atlanta. He took his copy of The One and Only Ivan, and Ivan was there finger painting that day, and he actually put his thumbprint on John's book. So over the years, I've been lucky enough to visit a lot of schools, a lot of libraries, a lot of bookstores, and talk about The One and Only Ivan. Not nearly as many as John, but quite a few. And one of the things I kept hearing again and again was, why don't you do a book about Ivan's best friend? Ivan's best friend was a little guy named Bob, and Bob was based on this guy, Stan, who happens to be my slightly obnoxious little mutt. And Bob turned out to be a great friend to Ivan in The One and Only Ivan, and he's kind of a loudmouth. Kind of blunt, kind of says what he needs to say, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, come on, he'd be a great book. You need to write The One and Only Bob." And I thought about it a lot, but I wanted to be sure if I did it, I could do justice to Bob, because he's quite a character. So I have finally done so, and I am thrilled to tell you that in May 2020, The One and Only Bob will publish. And I wanted to come here first and tell you because, of course, Mr. Shu has been such a fan of The One and Only Ivan. John had some questions for me, and let me see if I can find them. They seem to have disappeared. These are sentence starters, and the first one is Bob, Ivan, and Ruby. Bob, Ivan, and Ruby have taught me a whole lot about friendship and loyalty and love, and of course meatballs. And if you don't know what meatballs are, you have to read The One and Only Ivan before you read The One and Only Bob. The next one reads, I hope The One and Only Bob is as much fun for you guys to read as it was for me to write, because I had a ball. This guy is a great character. He's one of my very favorites, and I've written a lot of characters over the years. And the final question, Mr. Shu, you should have asked me, Mr. Shu, about the Disney movie of The One and Only Ivan that is coming out in August of next year. And it has this amazing cast. Some are voicing characters. It's CGI hybrid, so there will be animation and live characters. Bryan Cranston is in it, Angelina Jolie, Helen Mirren, Brooklyn Prince, Ariana Greenblatt, Sam Rockwell. I mean, it's just this amazing cast. And guess who plays Bob? Danny DeVito. Perfect. So I'm very, very excited to see that. I can't wait for it to come out. Finally, I have 3 thanks. The first is to Mr. Shu, who has been such a great supporter of children's literature and truly, truly loves books. The next is to my dear friend Stan, who sits in my lap when I write, which is highly annoying, but was a wonderful model for the actual Bob character. And finally, I want to thank all of you who asked me to write a book about Bob and give him his own story. He finally has it.